What's going on, guys? Ecom Brand Builder Launchpad team here. Wanted to do another update. We have a number of different members here. It's a big update this week. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things that have transpired over the last week or two. So first and foremost, we have a final sample. This is so exciting. I'm going to pass over to Eric, and he can take us away and show us exactly what our final sample looks like.
So actually, before we dive into Eric, he's going to show you the actual real life product. What we want to do is just show you kind of behind the scenes of what we do whenever we're looking to essentially change the product. So after we share and tell you about the product, the one thing we will mention is we had to change it for one main intent, and it was cost of goods. In order for us to get our ROI that we were looking for, which was near 100%, we had to get rid of the metal bar at the bottom, which was obviously a clear winner for us when doing all of our initial split testing. So what we did instead was we innovated and we thought of some creative ideas that could realistically provide the same utility without the increased cost of that stainless steel bar. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you what we did. I'm also going to show you an additional add-on that we added on that I think is going to be an absolute game changer for the product. Okay, so as you can see here, what we did was we got rid of that bottom metal bar. As you can imagine, one thing that we wanted to make sure that we did was not enter the market at a price point that we didn't have data on realistically. And our goal is to definitely get the price point up. But in order for us to maintain our margin, to maintain our ROI, we still wanted to provide that same utility. So instead of the bar, what we did is we added these little hooks on the bottom where you can actually hang up your clothing underneath. So again, provides the exact same utility without the additional material cost. And we were able to get our cost of goods down by about $2 because of this. And then the additional add-on is this strap at the top. And I'm going to show you what exactly we're going to use this strap for. So we've made it so that you can actually hang this up directly on your carry-on. Okay. So we shrunk the size a little bit so that it fits directly on the bar. And we have the strap so it sits directly on the carry-on. So for those tiny little Airbnbs or hotels that don't actually have a place for you actually to hang up your organizer, you now have the ability to hang it directly on your actual carry-on itself. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Eric. He's going to actually do a live walkthrough. We'll do some ongoing commentating throughout and kind of show you all of these changes in real life.
Cool. So I got the final sample here. Look nice and compact. Compression straps are really long. We went ahead and tested those actually. So when I had this to its full capacity, they actually shrank to, in and around 5-6 inches or so. So some room to play. But this is what it looks like current state. This is kind of the final product. Let's see if I can get a better angle. Up here, this is the top view. So Brian was talking about that strap there. In addition to that as well, we have this guy right here. So this is actually what goes when you put it up on your suitcase. Your suitcase handle that sticks up, this will sit right on that. And it sits really nicely on that as a whole. So just kind of start taking this apart. So again, a lot of shelving in there. First thing is, all of these zippers down here. So we got a nice big pocket currently right in there. And then as Brian was mentioning as well, one of the things we put in here is, that opens directly up, and that's a big storage bin. You can put whatever it is you want in there. And then I'll go ahead and take off the top part, which is, you'll see in just a sec here. All right, so pop this up. So this effectively will hang directly onto, you can see the metal hooks here. On the side, we have our, I actually zipped that just a bit too much here. That can hide or hangs directly on it there, but it also zips completely off as well if you want to take it off. So utility is great. That's what it looks like finished. In regards to the makeup organizer, we actually added this additional portion where you can actually completely unzip. Let me unzip it while I have two hands here. Boom. And then, while you're going through security, TSA pre-check, whatever it is that you go through, you can actually just have all your liquids in here. You can show this and put this completely separate. They can see everything that's inside of it as well. and you don't have to, pull anything out or, frantically try to get anything out. I've done that many times before. So yeah, that's a kind of close up on this just so you guys can see everything. This is the organizer. All right, so the bottom, as Brian was mentioning, we were, we used to have a metal bar here, and the utility of that was to hang things on it. But to keep the cost down, what we did is we actually created this system right here. So these are little hooks, as you can see. A hanger basically goes in here to hang 5 different items as a whole. So really, really good, completely tested, holds the weight really well. As a close up, that's what it looks like.
Cool. And the last final change that we made was we did a final AI product brief. We have that example that's actually being released onto our YouTube channel, and we were doing this with Brandon Young. And one thing that a lot of customers were complaining about was actually the hook size. When hanging it up into the closet, sometimes the hooks were too small, and I actually experienced this firsthand. So what we did was we increased the size roughly about 3x, and that way it could really fit on anything that you can imagine. And hopefully, again, that results into us getting positive reviews as opposed to the negative reviews that our competitors are getting. And yeah, so that's the final sample. I'm going to pass it over to Graham next. So as you can imagine, we were very creative in the approach that we took in developing the sample in the first place. So for that exact reason, we want to make sure that our IP, our intellectual property, is protected. So I'm going to pass it over to Graham to let you know on some things that we're currently working on in order to protect ourselves.
Yeah, so we've got a couple different metrics of protection when we launch on Amazon. The first one is a patent that we're applying for. A utility patent is often quite hard to get and expensive. So a very simple way around that is to just go with a design patent. Now, the problems with the design patent is if somebody changes the design more than 20%, they can get around that. So it doesn't offer full protection. However, Amazon deems that as being sufficient enough to take somebody down based on their images. So if we get a copycat right out of the gates, we can get all the listings down immediately, which is going to be huge. Another metric of protection is via a trademark. So we've got Voyage trademarked and the brand trademarked. And when you have a trademark, you can get what's called brand registry. And Amazon gives you protection on your listing, also based on your brand name. So if somebody copies us just based on our brand name or tries to hijack our listing, we get a lot more protection on the platform. So we're going through the process with Amazon on applying for that. We've hit some hiccups, which is normal when you run any business. So we've got a couple solutions for those problems that we're going to try and deploy to see if we can get that solved within the next week or so. And we got a couple options for that. So once we get brand registry, we'll be protected on Amazon, as well as the design patent protects our design from competition coming in and stealing all of our genius ideas.
Yeah. So one thing I'll add when it pertains to the patent, our goal here is not necessarily to give us full protection, but it's more so to provide a stance in scaring people to compete against us realistically. It also provides credibility for us as a brand and as sellers to our customers to be able to be like, hey, we've patented this design. It is unique. And should we have a higher price, we have something that allows us to justify it as well. When it comes to brand registry, I was the one that was actually applying. So I want to be full transparent in regards to what we're facing current state. So brand registry recently had changed their application form and they actually required legal entity information. And there was something that was just not adding up. And in our experience working with Amazon, sometimes it does add up and they just give you the automated responses towards it not working. And that was the scenario here because I recently applied for brand registry, did the exact same thing on a different brand and had no problems doing this. But at this time, they said that we were undergoing abusive behavior. So now we're going to have to bring in a professional to help us actually get brand approved or brand registered. So for the time being, we're going to go through the brand approval process. And that way we can get our listing created, our barcodes created, and everything that we need to start working on things in the back end. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pass it over to Josh. Josh, give us a little update in regards to when we think production is going to be ended and when we think we're going to be launching roughly and why we weren't able to actually get anything earlier than this.
Yeah, of course. Sounds good. Yeah, so we're hoping to hopefully launch right after Chinese New Year. Of course, obviously, we know that is a big, long month of them celebrating. So the issue that we had that we weren't able to launch in time, obviously, is that big month. We wanted to get it as fast as possible, get our stuff out there, but we also wanted to take a step back and make sure that we gave you guys the best product that we could. As Brian mentioned previously, the metal bar was a little bit too costly for us. We want to make some changes, as well as being able to hang that onto the carry-on luggage. I think we both all think that it gives great value, and we needed that to kind of showcase something different, right? Amazon, a bunch of different competitors. We want to have that great product out there. So we did take a little bit longer than we wanted, obviously, but we hope that it's going to be a great product through and through.
Yeah. So with that, the biggest thing was, we could have gone in production after receiving videos and photos, but we wanted to wait for the sample. And Eric received the sample, and we checked all of our boxes. It gave us the confidence to go and pay that deposit ultimately. So our projected finish date is just after Chinese New Year, or about a week after they're back. February 20th is the date that we have. So in the meantime, we're going to be working on setting up inspections, working with FBAB in order to get all of our shipping figured out, and then working with Movely, another sponsor of ours, to get our inspection figured out. Some exciting things that we're working on in the background is all of the things that we're going to do to run traffic pre-launch. So we're going to be running traffic to a wait list, and then we're going to be running traffic to an actual pre-sale page. So on our next update, we should have some final items to show you guys, and we're super, super excited about it.
So as you can see, we're making good forward momentum. We're so excited about the final sample. We're finally in production. And so we're going to be coming out soon and giving you guys a way to actually get involved with getting on our email list. We're going to be running a pre-sale for this item if you want to be the first in line to get one of these units in your hands and start using it as well. But other than that, we're going to close this one out, and we will see you guys in the next update.
See you later, guys.
Thank you.